Alright, story time. So I visited my mom and stepdad over spring break, and the three of us decided to go on a family hike together. And I don't know why, but for some reason it seems like every time the three of us try to go on a hike, like something happens. And so Scott spent some time to find a place in southern Illinois that we hadn't been to yet, because we like to go hiking a lot. And I didn't think the road was that bad going to it, but Mom and Scott were making jokes about how we should have brought provisions, and I didn't say anything, but I'm thinking like, this ain't got nothing on the poly roads, it's fine, whatever. We get to the end of the road, and it dead ends like in an old abandoned church, and there's a little cemetery there by it. And Scott starts to park the car, and he pulls up next to a horse trailer that's there. And then once we get out, he's like, I'm gonna pull down a little bit further, so in case, they need to load the horse back on, there'll be more room for that. So he starts to pull down, but there wasn't a lot of space to go, and he ended up running over some daffodils that were growing. And of course, Mom and I are like, "Aw, the flowers." And as he's going over the flowers, there's this awful scraping noise. And then he stops the car and he gets out and he's like, "Do you see what I hit?" And we're like, "No, we don't know." And then he pulls down further off of it. It was a tombstone. We're like, "Oh my gosh, that is really, really not good." And he pulls down further and tries to turn around, and then the car starts like sliding in the mud, and I'm like, what is happening? Is this happening right now? Yes, apparently it is. And it was, anyway, he handled it really well. I was very impressed with his driving and getting the car out. And then he went and pulled up further up the road so that we could get out safely later. And Mom and I start poking around the church on the outside, and she's like, "I want to go inside." I'm like, "I don't know if that's a good idea." And so the door is padlocked shut, so she's kind of pulling on it, and I've never thought of my mom to be the most adventurous person, but she proved me wrong. And she finds another entrance, goes busting in, and starts, just exploring the inside of this church, which of course has, bird nests in the rafters and like all sorts of interesting things, and the ceilings like caving in. And then and I'm like, "I'm not going in there, I'm gonna stay right here." And then we finally, come out, and Scott comes back from parking in the car. And when we walk around the side of the church building, we can see that it's built on a hill, and they're like support systems, but they're not actual support systems. It's just rocks that have been piled up. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this building must be condemned. And Scott's like, "Yeah, you're really, it's a good thing, because that could come down like at any moment, so I'm really glad nothing happened to you guys being in there." And we're like, "Yeah, probably not the best idea." But anyway, so that was kind of our adventure. And then there was the hike after that, which was also awesome. But anyway, adventures with family, you never know what's gonna happen.